Good afternoon, and I welcome you students. What we have told you that if there is a conductor, if electric current is flowing through a conductor, and what happens, a magnetic field will be produced around the conductor, and if we apply if there is a magnetic field around it, what will happen? The conductor will experience a force. It will get displaced, and a force will be exerted on the conductor placed in an electric motor when magnetic field is applied. Now the question is, how will we find the direction of the force? Fleming's left-hand rule. What is Fleming's left-hand rule? Fleming's left-hand rule is an accurate and simple way to find the direction of force exerted on a conductor placed in an electric motor. This is my left hand. You have left hand. You can see that I am using these fingers. I am saying they are at right angles to each other. They are at right angle, means 90 degree to each other. So what is we are trying to show here? What we are trying to show here, as you can see, this is our left hand. This is if this is the direction of the out of this, you can see that if the magnetic field is applied in this direction, this is my finger, this one, and then this finger is the direction of the current, this finger. They are at right angles. You can see they are at 90 degree. Can you see it? Can you see my fingers? What is the angle between this and this? 90 degree.
90 degree.
They are at right angles. What we say right? Then the direction of the motion is given by my thumb. This is also at 90 degree to both of them. So what it shows in general, if you have, what do you find? See, these are at 90 degree. These are at 90 degree. These are at 90 degree. And if I have this type of, they are at 90 degree. If this is the direction of the field, magnetic field, this is the direction of the current, then this is the direction of the motion. Direction of the motion. So if we want to find the direction of force exerted on a conductor placed in an electric motor when magnetic field direction and the current direction are known, the middle finger represents the direction of the flow of the current. So this is a middle finger which represents this. This is Fleming's left-hand rule. We can use this rule in order to find the direction of the motion. Is it clear? When we have what we have shown this in this, what activity was done. This is a magnetic field, permanent magnet, and this is a conductor which is carrying the current. As soon as we pass the current, it gets displaced. Why? Because there is a force which is exerted by the magnet on this. Magnet has a magnetic field. This also get magnetized. The magnetic field of the magnet exerts equal and opposite force on this. The direction of the force, if I reverse the polarity of the magnet north to south, south to north, then you see the displacement direction is reversed. So the rule which is given was given by Fleming, left-hand rule. So all he is saying that you can use the left hand, and these are the three fingers which we are using. They are at 90 degree to each other. 90 degree means perpendicular to each other. If this is the direction of the field, this is the direction of the current, they are at 90 degree, then this is the direction of the motion. Now you understand what we are saying? This is called Fleming's left-hand rule. According to the rule, stretch the thumb, forefinger and the middle finger of your left hand so that they are mutually perpendicular. You will stretch the three fingers of your left hand. Mutually perpendicular means they are at 90 degree to each other. If the first finger points in the direction of magnetic field and second finger points towards the direction of the current, the thumb will point to the direction of motion of the force on the conductor. That's what we are saying. Now you have noted down this. Tell me, students, have you noted down Fleming's left-hand rule? Any doubt? Is there any doubt? Now you tell me. The left hand 3 fingers we are using. That's all. You hold them in such a way they are perpendicular to each other, perpendicular to each other. If this is the direction of the field, this is the direction of the current, then my thumb is the direction of the motion of the conductor. That's all we are saying. So nothing, we don't have to get confused anyway in this. This is called Fleming's left hand. We discussed what is an electric motor and the principle of electric motor. What happens in an electric motor, you know, electrical energy is being converted into mechanical energy. Electric motor you are using. Nowadays, commercial motors use electromagnet in place of permanent magnet. Large number of turns of the conducting wire in current carrying coil, soft iron core. So soft iron in which the coil is wound plus the coil is called armature. This enhances the power of the motor. You are using electric motors a lot. For example, if a question is there, what is the first question? State Fleming's left hand rule. What is Fleming's left hand rule? What is Fleming's left hand rule? Any issue of the internet? If you have any issue of the internet, you can connect. Are you connected? Students, tell me. Are you connected? Any difficulty? Okay. Are you in? Tell me. You have joined?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What we said about Fleming's left hand rule, any doubt is there? Tell me, any doubt in state Fleming's left hand rule? This is important question. They will ask you in the paper. What we said, left hand, you have your left hand. These are the 3 fingers which you can see. Place them in such a way they are at 90 degrees. They are perpendicular to each other. They are perpendicular to each other. If this finger is the direction of the field, magnetic field, this is the direction of the electric current, then the thumb will give me the direction of the motion of the conductor. So thumb will point in the direction of motion of force acting on the conductor. That's all we are saying. So what we are saying, you have field. This is your field. This current is in at right angles. These are the right angles, and then this will be the direction of the motion of the conductor. They are at 90 degrees. They are at right angles to each other. They are at right angles to each other. What you have? You have your finger like this. Then you have another finger which is pointing like this. And on the top of this, you have your thumb. This is your thumb. So this thumb is pointing at right angle to both of this. This is the direction of the field. This is the direction of the current. And this thumb is the direction of the motion. This is your Fleming's left hand rule. This is my left hand. So you will use up fingers of your left hand like this. Field, current and motion. Okay? This is the way you have to visualize. What is the principle of an electric motor? You already know what is the principle. What happens in electric motor?
Sir, it converts electric energy to mechanical energy.
Yes, electric motor. Electric motor means you pass electric current. Electric motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. What is the basis? What you have seen? Conductor is carrying a current. What will happen? It is placed in a magnetic field. It will experience a force. So the electrical energy will get converted into mechanical energy. You are using large mixers, grinders at your home by passing electricity. So they are converting electrical energy into mechanical energy. Inside your washing machine, you are doing rotation, all this. What is the role of split ring in electric motor? This is my question.
Sir, it helps to reverse the direction of the current.
Okay. What happens in the split ring acts as a commutator. What we call it? Split ring. What do you see? Seen split ring. It is acting as what we call as commutator. What the commutator does? The main purpose is reversal of current, also reversal direction of force acting on the coil. Reverse the direction of the current. When the direction of current will be reversed, what will happen? The direction of force. Force is acting where? Force, the direction of the force. What will happen? The reversal the direction of force acting on the arms of the coil. Force acting on the arms of the coil. As a result of it, what will happen? Coil will start rotating. So the motor continues to rotate the coil. So the motor will continue to rotate the coil. Coil will start rotating. That was the basic principle on which we created electric motor. We are coming to another important point, another important thing, what is that called? Electromagnetic induction. What is electromagnetic induction? Very important. That you have seen, if I pass electric current through a conductor, then magnetic field is generated. There is a magnetic force which is created. The magnetism produced from electricity. Electricity produces magnetism. The other thing is also production of electricity from magnetism. If some magnet is there, can we produce electricity from it? The answer is yes. That is what we are going to do. Production of electricity from magnetism is called electromagnetic induction. We have a magnet, we will change the magnetic field, and this will generate electricity. How? Moving conducting wire inside a fixed magnetic field. This is important point. How will we do it? If you have a fixed magnetic field, for example, if you have a fixed magnetic field, what will you do? If you have a fixed magnetic field, for example, if I have a fixed magnetic field, you have a fixed magnetic field. For example, you have a fixed magnetic field, but you have a south and a north pole. And what happens if I have a fixed magnetic field and moving wire, conducting wire inside? If I move a wire, there is a wire. If I start moving the wire inside, this is my wire, for example. Okay? Keeping wire, this is carrying a current. This wire has a current. What happens? There is a current in the wire. If I move the wire in a magnetic field, what will happen? So this has a field. The magnetic field will start changing, and this can generate electricity. This is the first thing. Moving conducting wire inside a fixed magnetic field. One. You will move a conducting wire inside a fixed magnetic field, keeping wire fixed and changing. Second thing is you keep the wire fixed and change the magnetic field. It was discovered by Michael Faraday. The current which is produced by electromagnetic induction is called induced current. So production of electricity by changing the magnetic field, that is called electromagnetic induction. Induced current is highest when the direction of motion of the coil is at right angles to the direction of the magnetic field. Experimentally, it has been found. Experimentally, it was found the induced current. This is called induced current. Is when the direction of the motion of the coil is at right angles to the direction of the magnetic field. Okay. What we are trying to say, we have studied when current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field such that direction of current is perpendicular to magnetic field, it experiences a force. We studied that. This force causes the conductor to move. Now imagine a situation in which conductor is moving inside a magnetic field, or magnetic field is changing around a fixed conductor. What will happen? This was studied by Michael Faraday in 1931, and he made an important breakthrough by discovering how a moving magnet can be used to generate electric currents. This is very important. If a magnet starts moving in a conductor carrying a current, or conductor starts moving in a fixed magnet, then what happens? It can be used to generate electric current. It can be used to generate electric current. All right, let us see. What is an activity now? Take a coil of wire AB. Take a coil of wire AB. What we are doing here? Let me see. Students, there is not need of this, what I did. So here you have a coil. There is a coil and it is moving inside and outside the magnet. The magnetic field is changing. As the magnetic field changes, it will induce a current. That is called induced current. Induced. Let us do an activity or an experiment. Take a coil of wire AB having large number of turns. This is a coil. Okay? Take a coil of wire. Take a coil of wire AB. AB is a wire. It has a large number of turns. Connect the ends of the coil to a galvanometer. This is my galvanometer. What is a galvanometer? What is a galvanometer, students? Galvanometer is an instrument which can measure the current. If a current will flow, then the needle of the galvanometer will start deflecting. So take a coil of wire AB. AB is a coil of wire having large number of turns. Connect the ends of the coil to a galvan. This is our galvanometer G. This is my galvanometer. It is connected with this. Take a strong bar magnet and move its north pole towards the end of the coil B. Do you find any change in galvanometer reading? This is a magnet, bar magnet. This is north. Yeah. Now you start moving this magnet, move inside, what will happen? If you move it towards the end of the B, take a strong bar magnet, move its north pole towards the end B of the coil. This is the north pole, move towards the end B. You will see a deflection in the galvanometer. What you observe? A deflection in the galvanometer. There is a momentary deflection in the needle of the galvanometer. Say, let us see, it takes to the right. This is a galvanometer, G. This is an instrument which is used to measure the current. This is a deflection towards the right. There is a needle. As you move the north towards the B, there is a deflection towards the right. There is a momentary deflection in, say, to the right. This indicates presence of a current in the coil AB. That means now there is a current in the coil AB. Where the current has come? I have not passed any current. By the motion of the magnet, the magnetic field changes. The magnetic field is changing. This is generating or inducing a current in the coil, which we are saying induced. So presence of current in the coil, the deflection becomes zero the moment the motion of the magnet stops. If you stop the motion of the magnet, then what happens? What we are saying, try to see what activity you are doing. You have a strong bar magnet. This is a strong bar magnet. Okay? And move its north towards the end of the B. The galvanometer deflects. What happens when you move this magnet? Galvanometer deflects. That means current has come into this. What is this? Induced current. Current has been induced in the coil. Now we draw the north pole of the magnet away from the coil. First you take north coil inside, then you remove it backside. What will happen? Again the needle will deflect to the opposite direction. This is a deflection of the needle is now on the opposite direction. This was to the right. Deflection, this needle is now towards the left. Right deflection, left deflection. What it means? This means the presence of current in the coil AB. The deflection becomes zero the moment motion of the magnet stops. Important point. Only when the magnet moves, you will experience a current. When magnet is not moving, then there is no current. There is no deflection in the magnet. These are the activities we are doing. You can easily do it in the physics lab. Now what we do? We draw the north pole of the magnet away from the coil. Now the galvanometer is deflected towards the left. Okay, showing that current is now set up in the opposite direction. The direction of the current is changing when you take the north inside, when you remove it. Place the magnet stationary at a point near to the coil, keeping its north pole toward the end of the coil B. We see that galvanometer needle deflects toward the right when coil is moved toward the north pole of the magnet. Similarly, needle moves toward the left when the coil is moved away. When the coil is kept stationary with respect to magnet, deflection of the magnet drops to zero. Can you tell me what do you conclude out of this now? What do you conclude? What we are saying, can you tell me what this activity is showing? Whenever we are changing what we are changing? By changing the magnetic field, by changing the magnetic field, in a conductor, what happens? An induced current is produced. This is called induced current. The current is produced due to change in magnetic field when you are moving the magnet inside, right deflection, outside, left deflection. So we can induce current in a coil either by moving it in a magnetic field or by changing the magnetic field. There are two things. You have a coil. This you can see it is circular turns are there on this wire, which we call as a coil. What we can do? We can induce the current by moving it in a magnet. This keep the magnet fixed. You move this, start moving this. As you start moving this, again you will get induced current. Okay? Or by changing the magnetic field, or you change the magnetic field around it. So it is more convenient to move the coil in magnetic field. What we usually do, move the coil in magnetic field. So if I will put this magnet fixed and move this coil, what will happen? An induced current will be produced. Is it clear that there will be induced current when you have a coil and you move the magnet, or you fix the magnet and move the coil? What will be the result of that? An induced current will be produced. How will you know? You can use a galvanometer which will undergo deflection. Got it? The experiments were done. Let us see what is a galvanometer. Galvanometer is an instrument that can detect the presence of a current in a circuit. If in a circuit current is there, it can be detected by galvanometer. What the galvanometer does, it can detect the current. When current will be there, the needle will get deflected. It is zero when no current flows. It can deflect either to the left or to the right of the zero depending on the direction of the current. So you can see in this it can deflect to the right or to the left. When I reverse the direction of the current, the deflection needle will move also in the reverse direction. Now you can also check if you had moved south pole of the magnet towards end of the coil. The deflection of galvanometer will be just opposite to the previous case. What in this experiment, what you are doing? This is the north, you are taking north inside, or you are moving the coil if this is fixed. Now you reverse this, make this south pole, this north pole. What will happen? The direction of current will also get reversed. Direction of current will get reversed. So when the coil and magnet are both stationary, no deflection in the galvanometer. Only when either the coil or magnet moves, you will get an induced current. There is a change in magnetic field, then only induced current is produced. If they are stationary, then you will not get any current. It is that the motion of the magnet with respect to the coil produces induced potential difference, which set up an induced electric current in the circuit. Is it clear? What do you mean by electromagnetic induction? Okay. You have a coil, either you will move the magnet or you move the coil, then only you will get a current. How will you measure the current? You will use a galvanometer. Galvanometer can detect the current. Who was the person, scientist who did all this work? Michael Faraday is a, you can see the picture of Michael Faraday. He had no formal education, worked in book binding shop during the early years. You used to read a lot of books. This way, Faraday developed his interest in science. He got opportunity to listen to some lectures. He made careful notes of Davy's lectures. Soon he was made an assistant in this. Faraday had made several path-breaking discoveries that include electromagnetic induction and laws of electrolysis. Several universities confirmed Michael Faraday. Faraday's laws of electrolysis are very famous. Okay, mainly he was doing experiments, experimental science. Now let us do another activity. What is that? Here current is induced in coil B when current in coil A changed. What is happening? Take two different coils of copper wire having large number of turns, say 50 and 100 turns. What you are taking now? There are two large coils. Can you see coil 1? Can you see coil 1? It has a large number of turns. Say 100 turns. 100 turns are there. And this coil 2 has 50 turns. How many? 50, half of this. What do you mean by turns? You know, this has very large number of turns. As you can see, how many? 100. This has only 50 turns. What happens, students? Connect the coil A having larger number in series with a battery. This is a battery. You are connecting coil 1 to a battery. What will happen if I put the key? Tell me. If I put the key here, what will happen? Into coil 1. The current will start flowing in the coil 1. When the current will start flowing in the coil, what with the result of that, there will be a magnetic field which will be produced in coil 1. Then what will happen? You have another coil 2 that has less turns than this 50 and is attached to galvanometer. As the current in this will change, you will see that there will be a deflection in the galvanometer. Plug in the key, observe galvanometer. Is there a deflection? You will observe that needle of the galvanometer instantly jumps to one side and just as quickly returns to 0, indicating a momentary current in the coil. As when you pass a current immediately, the needle deflects. After some time, it comes back to 0. So, and what is the result of this? You will observe needle momentarily moves but to the opposite direction. If I disconnect coil 1 from the battery, if I remove the key, is not connected from the battery, what happens? Again, there is a momentary current, but in opposite direction. So current is induced. That means that current is being induced in the coil 2 when current in coil 1 changes. What we are saying? When current in coil 1 changes, what happens? Coil 2, this gets induced current. An induced current is produced in coil 2. That is why it will show a deflection. It will show a deflection. Note down, is it clear? Students, is it clear? Any doubt is there? Tell me, any doubt? Is there any doubt? Okay. What we are trying to do? Current is flowing in a coil. It will produce a field around it. And this can induce a current in the next coil, which we can say induced current. Why? Only when magnetic field will change in coil 1. When the magnetic field will change in coil 1, the current will change. If current becomes stationary, then if current is not changing, then what will happen? Nothing. As the current changes in coil 1, the magnetic field is changing in coil 1. This will induce a current in coil 2, which can be seen in the deflection of the galvanometer. As soon as you insert the key and you see momentary deflection, and then it comes back. If you remove the key, what happens? That deflection to the other side, and then it instantly stops. So it deflection, and then the needle goes back to original 0. So these are the activities which we are doing, students. All these activities are proving what? What does this activity proves? But it proves, all these activities proves. Okay? What we are saying, when magnetic field in a conductor induces current in another conductor, this type of is called electromagnetic induction. So we can induce the current either by moving the coil or by moving the magnet. And what is the direction of the induced current is given by which rule? Fleming's right hand rule. The direction is given by Fleming's right hand rule. What is that? We are going to show. You have studied the Fleming's left hand rule. So what we are saying, from these observations, we conclude that a potential difference is induced in coil 2 whenever electric current through coil 1 is changing, starting or stopping. Whenever there is a change in the electric current, what happens? Then potential difference is induced in coil 2. It is called primary coil, and coil 2 is called secondary coil. As the current in the first coil changes, the magnetic field associated with also changes. Thus, the magnetic field lines around secondary coil also change. Hence, change in magnetic field lines associated with the secondary coil is the cause of induced electric current. Note this point down, where this induced current is coming from. The primary coil is there. The current in the primary coil changes. When there will be current in the primary coil, there will be a magnetic field around it. And if the current will change, the magnetic field will change around the coil 1. And this will induce a current in the secondary coil, which we have shown, which have less number of turns than the first one. This process by which changing magnetic field in a conductor by changing magnetic field in a conductor induces current in another conductor is called electromagnetic induction. What is this? This is called electromagnetic induction. What do we call this? Electromagnetic induction. So when magnetic field is changing, magnetic field lines will change, and this will induce a current. In practice, we can induce current in a coil either by moving it in a magnetic field or by changing the magnetic field. It is convenient to move the coil in the magnetic field. Magnetic field, magnet will be kept constant, the coil will move. If the coil will move, what will happen? It will generate an induced current. And this is what we are going to study now. How will we induce a current? What we call this, you have heard about electric generator. What is electric generator? What is an electric generator, students? What we do in electric generator? You have permanent magnet. You will take a coil and you will start moving the coil. When the coil will move, what will happen? You have a permanent magnet and you have a coil which is carrying the current. When a coil is carrying a current, as the current will pass through the coil, what will happen? It will generate a magnetic field around this. As the magnetic field will change around the coil, what will be the result of that? It will undergo motion. And when this is undergoing motion, what will happen? What will happen, students? What we are saying, there is a coil. If the coil is rotated and you have two fixed permanent magnets, what will be the result of that? When coil will rotate, magnetic field is there, magnetic field is fixed, coil is rotating, then there is a change in magnetic field and magnetic field line. This will induce a current, and that induced current can be used if we produce large amount of such currents. That is what is electric generator. Electric generator. The induced current is found to be highest when the direction of motion of the coil is at right angles to the magnetic field. In this situation, we can use simple rule to know the direction of the induced current. Direction of the induced current is given by Fleming's right hand rule. What rule we are talking? Fleming's right hand rule. Fleming's right hand. This you can see, this is our right hand. Right hand. I'm using these three fingers. This is my thumb. You will put in such a way they are at perpendicular to each other. They are at perpendicular to each other. Stretch the thumb, forefinger and the middle finger of right hand so that they are perpendicular to each other. This is perpendicular to this. This is the perpendicular. The three are at right angles to each other. If forefinger indicates the direction of the magnetic field, this is the direction of the magnetic field, and thumb shows the direction of motion of the conductor. If this is the direction of the motion of the conductor, the middle finger will give me the direction of the induced current which is produced. This simple rule is called Fleming's right hand. Note down Fleming's right hand rule, students. Note down Fleming's right hand rule. Okay? This is the direction of the magnetic field, induced current. They are perpendicular to each other. They are at right angles. Field, induced current, and this is the motion. The motion is in this direction. Then the magnetic field is in the induced current direction is given by this finger. The three fingers are at right hand of a right hand are at right angles to each other. The name is Fleming's right hand. See how many rules we have studied in this chapter. First you studied the right thumb rule, then Fleming's left hand rule. Now I'm saying Fleming's right hand rule. Note down, note down. Explain different ways to induce current in a coil. You have a coil, you move the magnet in the coil. One. Second, fix the magnet, move the coil. So by two ways you can generate and induce current. Either you move the coil or you move the magnet. Usually coil is moved. Usually coil, it is more easy and convenient to move the coil. The question is, what is an electric generator? What is an electric generator? ठीक है. Electric generator mean it will produce electricity. How it will produce electricity? Mechanical energy will be converted into electrical energy. What is mechanical energy? You are moving the coil in a magnetic field. Moving the coil in a magnetic field. What happens? An induced current is produced. So electric generators are also known as dynamos and is an electric machine that converts mechanical energy into electric energy. Electric generators' mechanical energy is usually provided by steam turbines, gas turbines, or wind turbines, and provide nearly all power station that is required for electric power grids. So there are electric generators which are generating the electricity which you are using at home also. The electric generator works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. They will ask you, what is the principle of electric generator? What is electromagnetic induction? I have a coil, I move the magnet in the coil. What will happen? An induced current is produced. I fix the magnet and move the coil, What happens? The coil is moving, magnetic field is fixed. Again, induced current is produced. So that we are going to use in the electric generator. This is called electromagnetic induction, in which when a straight conductor moves in a magnetic field, current is induced in the conductor, and we will use a coil. When coil rotates, it cuts the magnetic field line because which current is produced in the coil. Current will be produced in the coil. That is electric generator. Let us see what is the diagram of that. As shown here, students, there is a rotating, what is it? Rotating rectangular coil ABCD. ABCD. Can you see ABCD rotating? This is a rotating rectangular coil. Rectangular coil. This is placed between two poles of a permanent magnet. What is NS? These are two poles of a permanent magnet. Permanent magnet. The two ends of the coil are connected to two rings. There are two rings, R1 and R2. These are the rings R1 and R2. They are connected with this. The two ends of the coil are connected to two rings R1, R2. Inner side of these rings are insulated. Inner side of these rings are insulated. The two conducting stationary brushes are kept pressed separately on the rings. There are two brushes. They are conducting B1 and B2. They are conducting brushes. That means electricity can pass through them. The two rings are internally attached to an axle. There is an axle you can see inside this. These two rings are attached to an axle. Axle can be mechanically rotated from outside. What is the function of axle? It will rotate the coil. It can rotate the coil from outside. The axle may mechanically rotated from outside to rotate the coil inside the magnetic field. Other ends of two brushes are connected to the galvanometer to show the flow of current in the given circuit. You have connected other end to the galvanometer which can show the current. If current will flow, the needle will deflect. When axle attached to two ring is rotated such that arms AB moves up and arm C. When arm AB moves up and arm CD moves down, what will happen? We can apply the rule, Fleming's right hand rule, to find the direction of the induced current. What will happen? The coil is rotating in a fixed magnetic field. It will induce a current and current will be induced. The direction of induced current is given by Fleming's right hand rule. And what will happen? The current flows in this direction, A, B1 to, you can say B2, it is going. So induced current flows in the direction ABCD. If large number of turns are used in the coil, then what will happen? The current in each turn will add up and will produce large current through the coil. So the current in the external circuit flows from B2 to B1. As you will see, current is flowing from B2 to B1, and you will see a deflection in the needle which we have attached. After a half rotation, arm CD starts moving up. After half rotation, what will happen? The arm, this will come up, then CD will start moving up and AB down. As a result, direction of the induced current in both the arms change. After half a rotation, what will happen? The direction of the current will change in both the arms. So what is the result of this? The current in external circuit now flows from B1 to B2. First current was flowing from B1 to B2 or B2 to B1. The current will be reversed. So after every half rotation, polarity of the current in arm changes. Such a current which changes the direction after equal intervals of time is called alternating current. What you are generating? Alternating current, AC. In AC, the direction of the current is changing. The direction of the current is changing. Alternate. So this is called AC generator. This is called AC generator. So the current which changes the direction after equal intervals of time. Current changes direction after equal intervals of time. What is that called? What we are generating? AC current, alternating current. So this is AC generator, alternating current generator. To get direct current to DC, so here two rings are internally attached to the axle. The axle can be mechanically rotated. Other ends of the two bushings are connected to galvanometer to show the flow of current in the given external circuit. When axle is rotated, arm AB moves up and CD down in the magnetic field produced by permanent magnet. Let us say the coil ABCD is rotated clockwise. By applying the Fleming's right-hand rule, the induced currents are set up in the arms along AB and CD. Induced current flows in the direction ABCD. If more turns are there, then the current will add up to give large current. After half rotation, CD and AB reverse the direction, and thus CD starts moving up, AB starts moving down. As a result, direction of the induced current in both the arms is reversed. Such a current which changes direction after equal intervals of time is called alternating generator, AC generator. To get the DC which does not change its direction, split ring commutator must be used. With this arrangement, one bush is at all time in contact with the arms moving up in the field, while the other is in contact with the arm moving down. We have the working of split ring commutator in the case of electric motor. What in electric motor this will happen? What is the difference between direct current and alternating current is that direct current always flow in one direction. So DC flows in one direction, whereas alternate current reverses its direction periodically. Most power stations constructed in our country produce AC, alternating current. AC changes direction after every 1/100th of a second. 1/100th of a second, AC changes its direction, and frequency of AC is 50 hertz. 50 cycles per second. An important advantage of AC or DC is that electric power can be transmitted over long distances without much loss of energy. It's very important. The electricity is produced where and it is transmitted. Transmission of electricity is the most important part to long distances. You have seen thick wires, thick cable wires you have seen when you travel somewhere. Thick wires. So that is the transmission. So the advantage of AC is that it can be transmitted. And important AC or DC electric power can be transmitted over long distances without much loss of energy. Because it is AC, the loss of energy will be less. So we have AC as well as DC generators. All right, students, we end up this topic of electric generators, electromagnetic induction here. Okay, then we will meet you in the next class. All right. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, then we will meet you in the next class.
Thank you, sir.